The championship race for the NASCAR Winston Cup Series 2002 season continues on to the Phoenix International Raceway in Avondale, Arizona. This is the Checker Auto Parts 500. The Winston Cup Series drivers here at this 1 mile racetrack in the Arizona desert, and the championship battle is still very, very close, and we'll see who comes out on top here today at Phoenix. I'm Joe Cascalante, in the booth. It is three-time Phoenix winner Trey Bardo. Trey, you know what it takes to win a race here at Phoenix. It's a relatively new track to the Winston Cup Series schedule, added in 1988. You won 3 times since then. What does it take to be good at a track like Phoenix?
Stay out of trouble. I mean, that's about it. And I mean, it's a weird track. It's like a flat track, Joe, but it's not flat.
Yeah, it's flat one end, pretty decently banked on the other end. So that's where some of the setup issues can come into play. You might have a car set up really good for one part of the track, like turns 1 and 2, but it might not work that great in 3 and 4.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, you just got to kind of find the happy medium there and hope that other people favored one corner or the other one, and you can try to make up whatever time you can there. But no, I mean, there's a lot of things that go into winning this thing, and that's why whenever someone does end up taking home the checkered flag, it's they normally are the dominant car of the day.
And when we talk about the championship battle still being very close, Mathis Wells, who was the points leader entering into Bristol, did very well there, finishing inside the top 3. He extended that points gap. The issue, Trey, he was the slowest car in qualifying because he made a mistake on this qualifying lap. He'll start back in 40th place here today. Other drivers starting back there near the championship fight. Zach DeLello had the same story on his qualifying lap. He'll start in 39th. Justin Atkins was set to start well in the 30 car, but he failed post-qualifying inspection. That's 3 drivers in that championship fight. They start back 39th, 40th, and 41st here today. Meanwhile, drivers like Jordan Stout on pole, Keyshawn Richardson in 6th, Chris Jericho in 10th, Sebastian Kukulon in 12th, on back to Matthew Burnett in 15th, Conrad Evans in 21st. Trey, those drivers starting in the top half of the field, they have a shot to gain massive points on Mathis Wells in terms of the points lead. Wells' points lead is up over 100 points, but it could easily come down below 100 points to many drivers if he cannot move through the field here today.
Yeah, this man's he's definitely got to start making moves as soon as this green flag drops, because he's got a long way to go to get back up into the area where he can at least, if anything, subdue the points points deduction he's going to get after this race. If even better, if he can gain points on some of these guys, that'll help. But yeah, the 20's got a big job ahead of him.
Yes, he does. And last season, he didn't have the fastest car here at Phoenix. In fact, he ran out of fuel under caution flag late. So we'll have to see if they've found any pace compared to last season, and if they can try and move through the field. Another big topic of story after Bristol is the fact that Nolan Lawrence on the last lap got involved in a heavy accident. Doctors advised that he take time off from the race car to fully heal from his injuries, and that puts Jerry Chen in the number 19 car here for Phoenix, making his first ever Winston Cup Series start. Trey, obviously, we wish for the best for Nolan Lawrence's recovery, but it is great to see Jerry Chen get an opportunity here as he's still looking for a ride for 2003. This could open some eyes to that number 19 driver Jerry Chen for possibly a ride for 2003.
Yeah, definitely. So he's got to make the most out of this. And I mean, Joe, we've seen that car on track multiple times. It's definitely got speed underneath it. So we'll have to see what if he can take advantage of anything here today.
Yeah, I went down, told him, earlier today, basically not expecting much out of him. It's his first start. If he can get a top 20, that's great, but just try and keep it clean, log all the laps, and show that you are a mature race car driver, that you can get out there and compete with the best. We'll see what Jerry does. He starts a little bit further back in 36th here today. However, we'll see how he can try and move his way through the field here in the Checker Auto Parts 500. It's a beautiful day for racing as you take a look at the Ford Fast Facts here for the Phoenix International Raceway. Mostly clear skies here today with 85 degrees, a very warm day here in Phoenix, Arizona. 2 miles an hour wind in the east direction, and no chance of rain here in the Arizona desert. This race is 63 laps in length, 63 miles as well. The field window anywhere from 37 to 42 laps. Last season we saw a caution flag come out at just the right point to make it a fuel mileage ending, where the top few drivers ran out under the final caution, giving the top 2 in the championship a 1-2 finish. So if a yellow comes out within that same window again, watch out for some fuel mileage. It could definitely come into play here in Phoenix. And then this track is 1 mile in length, 11 degrees of banking in turns 1 and 2, and only 9 degrees in turns 3 and 4. No banking on the straightaways. This track was built in 1964, held its first Winston Cup Series race here in 1988. As mentioned before, the man sitting right next to me in the booth, Trey Bardo, has the most wins at Phoenix of 3, and Chris Jericho, set to start 10th here today in that number 18, has never lost a race he's entered at Phoenix. He's won the last 2 Winston Cup Cup Series races here. He's looking to make it 3 in a row from that 10th starting spot, trying to gain points on his teammate Mathis Wells for the points lead. As it's about time to get going here in the Checker Auto Parts 500 at the Phoenix International Raceway, let's go down to trackside and fire these 42 cars up.
Drivers, start your engines!
42 cars fire up for racing here at Phoenix, the Checker Auto Parts 500. Quickly talk about the man starting in second place here today, Trey. That's Keegan Thompson. Nearly a year since his last Winston Cup Series victory. He almost won this race last season, but ran out of fuel from the lead. The previous season, he was leading and then got into an accident on pit road. Thompson starts second here today, looking for that first victory of the season. Is today the day for the 5 team to try and get it done for Thompson?
You definitely got to think that he's missing victory lane, right? And I think at this point he's going to do whatever he can to get into victory lane, and he's starting at a pretty good spot here, so we'll have to see if he can capitalize on it.
Give a nod to his teammate Justin Seidel back there in 5th, and in between them, give a nod to Jacob Miller for CLR Racing. Has that car up in 4th place to start with, see if he can try and hold the track position. But at the front, Jordan Stout in the 6th, trying to get back into the championship fight, is on pole here for Phoenix. Lathan Strickland behind him in the 15 starts in 3rd as we come down to take the green flag. We're racing for 63 laps in Arizona. Good jump for Jordan Stout, got clear side by side for a second. Jericho already down in line, the 18 behind Luke Rennie as they race side by side for a second. Strickland to the inside, Keegan Thompson. Thompson going to try and find a way down in line. 3 wide behind them as Mills goes to the middle. Up top, Evan Hunter. They race all 4 for their first time with Jordan Stout in the lead in the number 6 car.
He's cleared himself a pretty nice gap here, and then we got Lathan Strickland behind him there, and a couple of teammates battling it out right here.
Thompson on the outside, Seidel on the inside. Thompson got a great run off the top of turn number 2, but trying to clear the 24, hasn't quite done it. Miller goes high, Luke Rennie the 88, a lot of momentum from that Bristol victory, and also that top 5 at Richmond, back-to-back top 5s, and that victory at Bristol, trying to get another top 5 and maybe another victory here at Phoenix. As he moves along, Jacob Miller grabs the spot away to move back inside the top 5. Miller has slipped back to 6th, and then here comes the winner. The last 2 cautions out, though, here down the front stretch, and we have Justin Atkins, one of those championship drivers, Riley Spurlington, Nathan Stapleton, Jordan Edwards, and Mathis Wells looks like has missed it in the 20 car. Big there, he was right around those drivers, and he may have gotten away with one in that number 20 car.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if he was even around it at that time, but we'll have to wait to see. Oh, did the one just catch the wall?
He did. Anthony Hernandez got really high there and popped the wall, slowed Fitzwater up. Now the 2 is out of control here, trying to get it regained under caution, but yeah, Anthony Hernandez, he was racing back to the caution 3 wide and popped the outside concrete very hard off turn number 4.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if he got shoved up there or just misjudged it, but hopefully he'll be able to continue.
Hopefully so, as the field gets single fouled out here under the pace laps. Jordan Stout has led every lap so far from that pole position. A lot of damage to Nathan Stapleton. As you can see, he's trying to get his spot back. Justin Atkins at 30. Riley Spurlington, who has also been... Oh! Nathan Stapleton for the 3rd straight race involved in controversy, and this time Jerry Chen, who was just minding his own business, Trey, is not going to be able to finish. He's barely gotten any laps in that number 19 car.
Well, at least it wasn't an RCR guy this time.
Yeah, at least... I guess,
how does that make you feel?
I guess you're right about that, but at some point, Trey, NASCAR has to step in, right? I mean, you could say at Richmond it wasn't his fault, probably a mechanical issue, but at Bristol was his fault, and now here he was flying under caution.
Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking there, and you're definitely going to think NASCAR is going to have to finally step in and say something about this, because that's just, that's just ridiculous at that point. That's 3 weeks in a row, like you mentioned.
Yeah, and poor Jerry Chen, who was just trying to get some laps in that number 19 car, he might be done for the day. As we'll go check out what happened. The first caution is out early on here at Phoenix and crash towards the back of the field. Involves one of those championship frontrunners, Justin Atkins, in the number 30 car. The past 2 races here at Phoenix have had cautions within the first 5 laps. This is another one coming to complete lap number 2. Nathan Stapleton, Jordan Edwards get into each other on the top side, spin down into Justin Atkins and Riley Spurley-Tube. It is on from there. Mathis Wells does a great job escaping on the outside. Spurley-Tube spins down to the bottom. You can see some cars slamming down to the inside wall. Really, Trey, the most damage in this is Riley Spurley-Tube and Nathan Stapleton. It looks like Justin Atkins really just kind of spins. He does have some slight contact, but I think that 30 car can continue on at a pretty competitive pace.
Yeah, honestly, I'd say probably all those cars continue except for the 71 because 20 doesn't really look like it has any. I mean, maybe a couple dents, but nothing really major.
Yeah, these guys definitely got away with one towards the back of the field. You can see the 83 probably a lot of front end damage there as well. So really, I think
28 has some left side as well. It looks like
28 has driver's side damage, so he should be able to continue on at a pretty good pace. As we'll go take a look at this wreck in full speed, just show how hard some of these impacts were. You see a lot of the damage on that 71 car. And one more view of this crash with Edwards and Stapleton getting together, and you can see Justin Atkins really just some slight contact, kept it out of the concrete, which is big there. And yeah, as you mentioned, Riley Spurley with his driver's side damage. Jordan Edwards has a lot of front end damage, so that 83 might not be competitive. But I think the 30 and the 28 trade could definitely stay up to a good pace, especially the 30 car, who really just might have some scratches and some slight dents in that number 30.
Yeah, he's I would say he's pretty lucky to get out of that with as little damage as he did. So we'll definitely have to see what all transpires of this zero. But I think we got something else to go look at here.
Yes, we do. Nathan Stapleton, that number 71, as he is coming back around. So obviously, a lot of the drivers at the back, including the guys who wrecked, had taken the caution flag. The caution came out immediately once this crash started, something we didn't see at Bristol when crashes had started. But these guys are trying to get spots back. See, Atkins is basically trying to let those guys go. Edwards and Spurley to get back into a spot where they think they are. And I mean, if they need to gain more spots, they're going to be careful going around these guys, right? So the 83, see him slowing down there. 28 has slowed down, so they're probably in the right position. Here comes Nathan Stapleton, who is going to just, you can see Riley Spurley going low, but giving them room, and Nathan Stapleton, he had room to go up and just stayed right near. He almost even collected Roger Ray in that, the 55.
Yeah, I truly don't know what to say about that.
Yeah, well, I think NASCAR might have something to say, because they've called the 71 driver, crew chief and spotter and owner into the hauler post-race, so we'll see how that goes. But for Jordan Stout so far, it is going pretty well. Remember, he failed inspection after the race at Homestead, lost 180 points there, but he's still in the championship fight. Jordan Stout leads the Checker Auto Parts 500 from pole position here at the Phoenix International Raceway. The lights are out atop the Pontiac pace car, which means we're going back green this time by, with Jordan Stout, the 6th, still in control. We'll restart at the completion of lap number 7. A tough break for Jerry Chen under the caution flag, hit by Nathan Stapleton. The poor rookie who was making his first ever start in the Winston Cup Series, subbing for Nolan Lawrence, is out of the race. He barely got to complete any laps. A tough break there as he's still looking for that ride from 2003, trying to get someone to pick him up. And I mean, he didn't get to show anything here today because someone decided to slam into him under caution. That guy was Nathan Stapleton. He's also out of the race. Mathis Wells has made no progress. Luckily missed that crash, though. He's still stuck back in 40th place, so now the field's strung out single file. Could be hard to make passes. Justin Atkins is up in 37th. DeLello has gained some spots up in 34th. We'll see how those damaged cars like the 28, 83, and 30 do at the back of the field. But at the front of the field, a bunch of fast race cars leading the way. Jordan Stout, Lathan Strickland, 200 cars as Idell and Thompson. Luke Rennie back up inside the top 5. Miller is 6th. Jericho 7th. Bright 8th. Burnett and Richardson are the front 10. We're back going in Phoenix. Pretty equal start for the front few. They get away pretty well, and everyone besides really Richardson kind of timed that restart pretty well.
Yeah, I was very in unison is what we'll say. So we'll have to see if anyone can take advantage of these guys, you know, all starting out really well, if anyone in the front group, but it does not look like Richardson got the start he wanted.
No, Keyshawn really kind of messed that start up. Luckily, though, he got the run off the top of turn 2 to get in front of Jay Brando. Jacob Miller trying to get back inside the top 5, moving low, and Luke Rainey. We saw Luke had just gotten by him before that caution came out. Now Miller going for the run to the inside, trying to get back up into the top 5. Remember, started in 4th place for that CLR racing car, and he's back up inside the top 5. What a great restart for Jacob Miller here. An underfunded car trade going, you know, to compete with the last race winner, Luke Rainey, and that number 88 Robert Yates Ford.
I'm really impressed with how well the 57's doing. Normally, when we see these type of teams, the mid-tier teams, you know, qualify up front, they don't really last. They just kind of fall off. But this guy is making everything worth it.
Well, we saw at Lowe's in the World 600, it was Jacob Miller that drove that number 57 car up inside the top 5 and stayed there until pit stops, and then they kind of fell back then. But We know Miller can wheel a race car around in that number 57. He's shown it right now here at Phoenix, still running inside the top 5 as the Hendrick duo go at it for that 3rd position. Thompson inside of Justin Zeidel, trying to grab 3rd away from that number 24. Meanwhile, as he does clear the 24, now Miller trying to get down low. The front 2 of Stout and Strickland have stayed single file, and they've gotten away. But Miller trying to get back to where he started. He's going for 4th on Zeidel, inches ahead through 1 and 2, trying to complete the pass off the bottom of turn number 2.
You know, Joe, it's another race, another year I question why we have that jutting out wall on the front stretch.
Yeah, we did question that a lot last year when we had the 4 caution flags, and a lot of them happened in that area of the racetrack. I would hope at some point NASCAR looks into getting that fixed.
Look at that.
And that's where Mathis hit that wall coming back to the caution flag and got some of that damage. Luckily, it doesn't look like it's hurting him, but see right there, Miller completed the pass for 4th. Now Burnett's going for 5th as yellow's out again off of 4, and it looks like it was Nathan Ormond and Baby Ruiz.
92.
And maybe Jack Haas.
I can't tell. I don't think anyone else has damage from that, and looks like Stout's going to bring it back home here to the caution flag.
Yep, Stout. Richardson.
Oh, Richardson.
He got the wall just like Hernandez, and he dropped some spots. So for the 2nd race back to the caution flag, someone has hit that jutting out wall in turn number 4.
It makes you wonder if they're really pushing the car there to try to get any spots they can.
It has to be something like that, because that's now 2 times where drivers were racing back side by side with another guy and just hit the wall on exit of turn number 4. Luckily, the front of the field has been pretty clean with that, but those drivers a little bit further back in the pack, they have been very, very aggressive. As we've now completed 12 laps of this race, we have about 50 laps to go. They are about still 10 laps short on fuel, so I wouldn't expect the leaders to come down for maybe for a little bit further back. You come down, repair some damage, and get some tires on the car. But you can see the front of the field is staying out on the racetrack. So we'll go check out what happened. A multi-car crash entering turn number 1. Nathan Ormond, Baby Rose, and possibly Jack Haas involved in this one for the 2nd caution flag of the day here in Phoenix. Here's the accident exiting turn number 4. Nathan Ormond is up top 3 wide. We talked about the wall, how it kind of juts out here, and I think Ormond, he slides up to the wall, then it kind of comes back in, so they have to give him more room, but they just don't, and they just all run out of room. Ormond spins around into Ruiz. Now, he does a pretty good job saving his car. Now, Ruiz is down low, probably out of control. He just hit the 66. He's trying to figure out how to enter this corner in a decent way, and right here, he gets onto the flat, comes up, and to not wreck Jason Albert, he just decides to wreck himself while, it's not good for Ruiz. That's kind of a selfless act right there.
No, he smacked the wall. I mean, he did everything he could to not wreck anyone else or himself. But I mean, at the end of the day, rather, I guess, take yourself out than people that are just victims.
I guess so, and for Ruiz, that's a tough break. He got the most damage from that. Nathan Ormond really only like the 20 of Riley Spurgeon, left side, driver's side damage. So we'll have to see if that 66 can continue on a good pace, because he had qualified pretty well inside the top 20, and we know Hoscar Motorsports has some good race cars here at Phoenix. We'll have to see if he can try and continue on to a pretty good pace. We'll go take a look at this wreck one more time in full speed. And here's the view of Nathan Ormond, Jason Albert, Baby Rose coming together off turn number 4, and unfortunately, it's not over from there as Ormond spins around, very slight contact with the wall. There's Ruiz trying to control it and just spins himself. And as you mentioned, Trey, that is a hard hit into that outside concrete.
Yeah, I mean, really, there's just literally nothing he could do there. He was probably on the brakes, but again, you're just going so fast, and that angle he was going in was just so sharp that you're not going to be able to make it. But one man who's missed a lot of wrecks, Joe, is this guy right here.
I was about to say, Mathis Wells has seen it all today, and that's not what he wants to see. He wants to see really nothing. He just wanted to try and get his way through the field, but now he's seen 2 crashes, missed them both. But for Jordan Stout, the other side of the front, they've really not seen much. Stout has seen nothing but clear racetrack in front of him, but now he has a restart to deal with, and Lathan Strickland's done his bumper for the 2nd restart of the day here at Phoenix. Coming back to the green flag, this time by here at Phoenix. We'll restart on lap number 17. Jordan Stout in the number 6 still in control from pole position. No cars are out from that crash. Still 40 cars left on the racetrack. Mathis Wells has worked his way up to 34th in the running order. Jordan Stout still leads in the number 6. Lathan Strickland is the one in 2nd. Keegan Thompson now 3rd. Jacob Miller back up to 4th. And Matthew Burnett now inside the top 5 from his 15th place starting spot. Chris Jericho is now in 6th, with Zeidel back to 7th. Eli Bryant 8th. Luke Rennie back to 9th. And Jay Brando in 10th. Watch for Hernandez in 11th. Richardson in 13th. And Sebastian Kukla in 14th. And Covert Evans 15th. Those 3 drivers lined up in a row in the championship fight, needing every point they can get. to try and catch Mathis Wells. We followed a very similar pattern to last season, an early caution flag in the first 5 laps, a yellow around lap number 12. We'll see if we get another one soon or if we go a little bit green for ways. We're back going in Phoenix. Good jump again for the front few. They stay together, but Matthew Burnett timed it perfectly in the 17. Looking low for 4th place in turn 1.
Yeah, I didn't look at him. I wonder if he backed the corner up some and tried to get a run on the 57 going into 1.
It could have been. He could have just gotten a little gap, hit the gas a little bit before the leaders did, and timed it perfectly. Trying to put 2 Roush cars in the top 4. Meanwhile, Strickland is closing on Jordan Stout, trying to get there with Thompson right up the 15's back bumper. They work their way out forward.
Ooh.
Miller slides. Jericho almost got into him. Look at the 18, kept it going straight. And here comes Thompson now for 2nd place. He's been fast here in the past, almost won the last 2 races here at Phoenix. He's trying to get this one in 2002 and get his first victory in almost a year for Hendrick Motorsports.
He needs to make do of Lathan here pretty quick if he doesn't want that 6 to get too far out in front here. We'll have to see if he can do it on the inside line here. Maybe Lathan might run a little wide and have to check up because of that corner, but I think they'll be side by side.
And they're still side by side off 4. We'll see as Matthew Burnett pulls low. We know that 17 is pretty fast, and he's still looking for that first victory this season. The only Roush car to not win, and all of his other teammates have multiple victories on the season. So Burnett is hungry for one, trying to get back into that championship fight. We know he'll be aggressive as Thompson might finally clear Strickland, and does. For 2nd place, the 5 is clear. Now he has his sights set on the number 6 car of Jordan Stout for the race lead.
Look to see if he can catch him back down. Last time around was 0.3 of a second. This time around, to see if it gained any or if it subtracted. Yeah, not. It's pretty much the same.
And that was with him passing the number 15 car. So we know that 5 is pretty stout, but I think that number 17 might be faster than both the 5 and the 6. Burnett has come from 15th place on the start, right onto the back bumper for 2nd place on Keegan Thompson. And all the while, the 5 is still closing on the 6. So I think the 17 Trey might be the fastest car on the racetrack right now.
Can't be pushing that 5 a little bit.
I think he's going to be looking to pass him here soon. Look at the run he's got. His Miller slid wide back there. Kept it out of the wall, luckily, but very close call there as he slowed Eli Bright up a little bit. Burnett's still right on the back of Thompson, trying to find a way around. Can't make the pass quite yet. Hernandez for 9th place on Miller. They race side by side. The front 8 getaway single file. There's the first battle for position. Anthony Hernandez, Jacob Miller, Eli Bright, Keyshawn Richardson, Sebastian Kukla, and Brett Searer all under a blanket right here, just inside and just outside of the top 10.
Oh, baby. That wall just is not very nice.
It scares me. Miller! He may have gotten
that
the
scares
boot.
me too. Oh, we're going to be 3.
We are going to be 3 off turn number 2. Richardson may have given the boot to Jacob Miller. Eli Bright looks to shoot the middle. 3 wide through the dog leg. Richardson not giving much room to the 2 cars on his outside. Will they sort out? Will they stay 3 wide? Look at Searer forcing on Kukulon almost 4 wide.
This might not be good.
Miller up the track again.
Scrapes
the wall. Luckily kept it out of anyone beneath him. Burnett moves to 2nd. He's got by Keegan Thompson. Now he has his sights set on his teammate in the number 6, Jordan Stout.
We'll have to see what he can do. I mean, the gap pretty much stayed the same while he was passing him. So, I mean, if that tells you anything, is that both of those cars are fast. But like you said, that 17 is just slightly faster here.
And watch for this guy in 5th place, Chris Jericho. The last 2 seasons here at Phoenix, he hasn't had the fastest car. He hasn't had the dominant car. Back in 2000, Conrad Evans led the most laps, but finished in 3rd place. Last season, Keegan Thompson and Justin Zedel, the Hendrick teammates, dominated, leading most of the laps. The yellow is out again, and Mathis Wells, the points leader, is going to be out of the race. Huge damage and huge championship implications for the points leader.
Did he get both of the MBT? Or you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, the MB2 cars looked like both Evan Hunter and Tim Gary.
Yeah, this is a big wreck. Wow. They got both the 20 and the 97, Joe?
Yeah, Zachary DeLello as well, who has had a dismal stretch of races, and it looks like it's continuing. At Bristol, he didn't have what he needed. At Richmond, he got into a wreck on pit road. He's lost so many points. Remember, he was just leading points entering into Richmond, and since then he's dropped down to one of the lowest in terms of that championship battle. But now, Trey, we have crossed 40 laps to go. They should be good on fuel from here, so we should expect everyone to come down pit road, but I don't think there's going to be a question on fuel, but you never do know. You have to get the car packed full of fuel here if you definitely want to make it to the end.
I was going to say, last race, was there a question on fuel?
There was, because they pitted with around, I'd say, 44, 42 to go, and that's like the extreme edge of the fuel window. This is like 38, 39 to go, which is, you can make it 37 at a minimum on fuel, so we should expect them to make it from here if they fill their cars full of fuel.
Yeah. Well, let's hope the gas men are on top of it today, huh?
Yeah, let's hope so.
Look, there's Larry.
Yeah, Larry has to move out of the way for Jordan Stout because I'm sure he's going to be in a hurry to leave his pit stop once he's done with his pit stop.
Well, I'm curious to see where the 17's going to pop out compared to him. He's leaving now.
Chris Jericho right with him, that 18. We'll see if Jordan Stout can leave in front. That's close!
Ooh, that was very close.
Oh, we're going to have to go to NASCAR on that one. Was it the 17 or the 6? I don't know. Jericho sped ahead, but obviously the 6 got to the line first in front of the 18.
Oh,
so
Keegan was in the grass.
Yeah. Oh, Jordan Stout.
Oh, he's in the grass. Oh, they're all in the grass.
As Stout
so
did get out in front.
It was the 6.
Whew.
That was very close, though.
It was, and we know Burnett is a fast race car, so this restart could be pretty good. But for those two, the front two, the 6 to 17, this could be a big restart because Mathis Wells, the points leader, involved in the 3rd accident of the day here in Phoenix. We'll go check out what happened towards the back of the field here in the Checker Auto Parts 500. The points leader done for the day. Trey, I would call this a very big mistake on Mathis Wells' part. He's middle of 3 wide right here. As the points leader, he's not really gaining any ground, and right here just kind of drives his way into Zachary DeLello, spinning the 97 to the 11, and look at this hit for Mathis Wells with Evan Hunter as well, and unfortunately for Mathis, it was already a hard hit. It's not over, because here comes Tim Gary, the 10, trying to get away. He's 3 wide, can't go any higher, and he clobbers the 20 as well.
Yeah, that's just the wrong place at the wrong time for Tim Gary there, but 20 absolutely nailed the wall head on.
Yes, he did, and Evan Hunter got some pretty heavy damage. Hunter's teammate Tim Gary's going to be done for the day. DeLello drove away, but we know that 97 has damaged Ronald Kennington. I think he just did a spin and keep on going. But Mathis Wells, the points leader, got the biggest hit and all that. He's done for the day. We'll go take a look at this wreck one more time at full speed. And here's one more look as Wells gets into DeLello. 2 of the drivers fighting for the championship. And Mathis Wells comes out worst. The points leader, once again, Trey, has just a catastrophic event in a race. How many times this season, Trey, are we going to have the points leader have some major issue?
I'm starting to think I just want to sit second in points.
Yeah, it's like no one wants to win the championship at this stage in the season. We're only a few races left. Someone's going to have to win it. And could it be one of these front two? Jordan Stout, Matthew Burnett have had some of the fastest cars today. Now there'll be 1-2 for the next restart here in the Checker Auto Parts 500 at the Phoenix International Raceway. Back here at the Phoenix International Raceway, pacing under the 3rd caution flag of the day. Pit stops had just been served to our race leaders. Jordan Stout back out in front. He's led every lap so far from that pole position. He'll have his teammate Matthew Burnett right behind him in 2nd place for this next restart. Trey, let's get to our Van Auto Parts question of the week because I just got given the card. Pretty funny one this week, and we'll love to hear your thoughts on what this week's is. But go back to last week when we asked, of the 3 best teams in 2002, which one will have their driver win the championship? You decided to opt out on that one. The fans said 61 to Roush Racing. I was a little shocked at that point because Mathis Wells had just had a really big day at Bristol and had an over 100-point lead. But now as we go into this race and now Wells is out towards the back of the field, maybe the fans knew something. But this week, Trey, it's about your team for next season. Who will be the Bardo Haas Racing driver for 2003? Eli Bright, Tim Gary, Hunter Reed, or some other driver?
It's me.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, I guess I ruined the question, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. That was not one of our options, but
well, I can't answer that. What do you think?
I was yeah, that's a tough. I would say
yeah,
other.
you were ready for that.
I'd say other. I think at least Eli and Tim are staying with their teams, and probably Hunter Reed as well.
That's fair. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yes, we will. As Jordan Stout still leading in the number 6. Mathis Wells will finish 39th today. Tim Gary in 40th with 38 cars still running. There's the green flag for Jordan Stout. Matthew Burnett, Keegan Thompson had a pretty good restart. They stayed right with Stout into turn number 1. Burnett looking half a lane lower, trying to make it work on his teammate Murray, the 17, so fast before the caution flag. Will he have that same pace here as here comes Jericho looking for 3rd place on Keegan Thompson?
Is he going to dive it into 3 here? He thought about it, but he couldn't quite get underneath that 5. He might pump him up the track, though.
Pretty big gap back there. Smetoskin, that 26, did not have a good restart. Let Eli Brent and the rest of the field in front get away as Jericho goes for 3rd place on Keegan Thompson. And I also like to point out all 4 of the Hendrick cars are up here inside the top 10. We have Keegan Thompson now back to 4th place, but Jay Rando, Justin Zeidel, and Brett Sierra all running just behind him. It's great to see, Trey, all 400 cars have pace in the race today. Even though, we're still not even halfway in, they have pace. They might not finish this way, but we know they have some pretty good speed at this point.
When was the last time that happened?
It has not happened this season.
They're all next to each other.
Yeah.
That's an office photo.
I don't know if Ryan Wilson's too happy about that, though, because with how their season has gone, all 4 of them might end up in a crash together, and they all might be sitting together at the end of that crash and not be able to drive away. So
that would be something, wouldn't it?
It would. And
no!
Look out!
Oh no! Ooh. Joe, you jinxed it.
The 24 and the 5 made contact. Now they're 3 wide off turn number 4. Strickland pounds the wall. Sierra has to avoid. They all try to get around the inside. Everyone all stacked up. Thompson goes wide, and the 5 is losing so much ground. They're still 3 wide up here. Eli Bright to the inside. His teammate Strickland on the outside. Zeidel still in the middle, wondering if he could try and get out of it because he's had such terrible luck as of late.
How did they keep that straight?
They were trying not to, Trey, and I don't know how they did.
Wow, that would have been something, wouldn't it? I mean, that would have probably gotten 3 out of the 4, if not all 4.
And Strickland almost got the wall again. That 15 struggling hardest. Here comes Conrad Evans. He's had a dismal last few races, trying to get himself back into that championship fight. Evans moving low. He's up inside the top 10, going for 8th on Eli Bright. Zeidel gets away in 7th. Sierra having his best run of the season up in 6th. Trey, he's the only driver in the top 25 in points to yet score a top 5 finish this season.
Yeah, that's crazy considering he was the runner-up last year.
Yeah, he was with Chris Jericho.
Oh, Strickland almost blocked the wall.
Yeah, he's been having a rough few laps there in that number 15. But so far, Trey, as we had this restart, Jordan Stout has pulled away from Matthew Burnett, and one of the fastest cars on the racetrack might be this number 88 of Luke Rennie in 4th place, going for his 3rd straight top 5 on the season. And remember, Watkins Glen, he was good, so as of late, that 88 team has picked it up, and they're continuing their string of good races. Here's Sierra, he's trying to run down his teammate Jay Randall to get that first top 5 of the season, and only has 3 top 10s on the season.
Now, Joe, do you think that the 16, do you think they might have made their car better for the short run, considering how it went up to the pit stops?
I'm wondering if that's just a recurring issue with the 6, that he's just good on the short run and not so good on the long run. Remember, Matthew Burnett had to carve his way through the field and really was only as fast as the 6 after about 15, 20 laps. On a short run, maybe the 6 is good, but maybe in the long run, the 17, the 18 of them are better. So we'll have to see if the times start to flip-flop. As you can see right there, it kind of steadied out that time. So maybe the 6 is just really good for the first 3 or 4 laps, Trey, but then after we get 5 or 6 laps on the tires, that number 6 starts to fade a little bit, the 17 starts to gain.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see, because I'm not saying anything right now, but this is probably the most spread out the field's been at the moment, knock on wood. But we'll have to see what all unravels here for these guys. If someone's going to finally have a long run car here that's going to be able to run down this 6, or if it's just going to be a comfortable ride forced out.
You know why the field's so strung out? They were so scared of what the Hendrick guys were doing. They just wanted to give them space and be like, I don't want to be involved in whatever you're doing. But this man, Trey, in 4th place, he looks pretty fast. Luke Rennie going for a 2nd straight victory, moving low on Chris Jericho for 3rd place, the winner of the last 2 Phoenix races, getting passed by the last race winner, Luke Rennie, going for that 3rd spot. That 88 looks pretty good after that pit stop.
I don't think I've ever met a man who's so calm after winning a race.
Yeah, Luke Rennie. I saw his interview with you, and he was just
kind of so nonchalant.
Yeah, laid back, I expect this almost, right? It's kind of like, this is nothing unusual. I should be in victory lane more. I know I'm a good race car driver. And he's shown it as of late, Trey, getting really good results. This Robert Yates Racing team, especially the 88 team, Riley Springfield had a good season up to this point and continuing to have a pretty good season up there near the top 10 at points. But Luke Rennie had been down around 20th place, and we're wondering, what's wrong with Luke Rennie? Well, right now, as of late, he's shown nothing's wrong. It's just the same old Luke Rennie, just took a little time to get the team going this season.
The best part about that interview is that he doesn't go, I'm happy for my team. I'm happy for just, me being able to drive it. He goes, I'm happy for the organization.
Yeah, he's happy for...
That's the team player right there.
88 guys and 28 guys. Just showing that all of Robert Yates Racing kind of gained from how it's been as of late. Jericho got high.
Oh, baby.
Let's Brando go. But that 18 car was pretty good before the pit stops. But now, Trey, they may have made some wrong adjustment on Jericho, or they're really trying to get good for the long run. He's let Luke Rennie go. He let Jay Rando go. Now the next car he's going to let go are Brando's teammates, Brett Sierra and Justin Zeidel. Don't look too far back. Conrad Evans is there. How about Laura Chung has moved from the back of the field to move up inside the top 10. Sebastian Kukulon came in 2nd in the point streak. Could leave as the points leader up inside the top 10.
Yeah, this is I mean, Joe, at this point, anything's kind of shaken up with the points leader being out. And, I mean, it just really seems like these guys are trying to make it a 15-car battle for the championship.
Yeah, it's crazy as we have Eli Bright, Keyshawn Richardson going at for 11th and 12th. Really good run for Samit Oskin. He qualified well and he's racing well. Oskin up into the top 15. The last 2 seasons, Haas Car Motorsports has put a car into the top 10 at the finish here at Phoenix. With Nolan Lawrence in 2000, Mitch Corbett got a top 5 finish in this race last season in the number 66 car. So we know the Haas Car Motorsports team, they have pretty good setups here for Phoenix, and it's showing as he's bound with Keyshawn Richardson and Eli Bright for 11th and 12th. Behind him, Diego Yepes was the high starting Petty Enterprises car. He's inside the top 15. Thompson has dropped back. Noah Clifton is back here with a good run. Hunter Reed has moved up nicely. Riley Spurgeon was involved in that crash. That 28 now inside the top 20. Jason Albert having a pretty good run. Zach DeLello trying to move up inside the top 20 after getting involved in that last accident. Strickland, though, is dropping. Here's Atkins involved in that first yellow. He's now inside the top 25. So, Trey, the field's starting to spread out here. So we have cars going wide and all over the place. And, oh, that's why the one in the 66 is Ormond is slow. The yellow is not out, but they might have to call one. I don't know if he's going to be able to get off the racetrack.
No, I don't think he's going to be able to here. Is he? I mean, he's on the inside and out of the way, which is good, but
caution.
Top car on the track.
Caution is out.
Oh, Joe, look, they learned from Bristol.
They did. Anthony has had an issue there in the 1. He's come down the pit lane, and it's kind of interesting that the 1 had an issue, and then the 66 was, you know, I'm sure unrelated issues, but it's just kind of interesting.
Yeah. I mean, the 66 already had major damage from, what was it, the first incident of the day?
Yeah, so he, second instant he had some damage from, but yeah, Andrew Hernandez, who had been running decently well here, he kind of been dropping back on that run. Look out to the field. Oh, no.
At least he's on the inside.
Yeah, he's using the apron. I was a little bit worried there on the backstretch, but now he's kind of slowing down, and I'm sure NASCAR probably yelled at him.
NASCAR's probably yelling at him.
Yeah, but yeah.
So is he getting a lap back?
He got a lap back. I'm pretty sure wherever he hit the line or something, he was probably on the lead lap, so they have to. But wow, they fixed that 66 up pretty fast. He's back out there.
Yeah, I'm curious. Maybe he had a tire going down from that damage, or not sure.
Could have been something with the battery too. We'll go.
Yeah.
We'll go check out very quickly what happened there in turns 3 and 4. 66 of the 1 with some issues there towards the back of the field. Well, Trey, 2 separate issues on the same lap. Anthony Hernandez looks like a flat tire here in that number 1 car, running inside the top 30. Has an issue there. He pulls down to the inside, slow out of the way, just trying to let everyone go. And then right here, Nate Norman passes him, still finding that 66, and then right here through the middle, 3 and 4, he has an issue.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe he got a flat tire too. Maybe he ran over the same thing that Hernandez did.
Maybe, but
then it just took a while. And then
he could have come down pit road, though. That's the interesting part to me if he had a flat tire.
Yeah, very strange.
Yeah, but
and then, I mean, at that point, he missed it, and he knew he wasn't going to make it, so he just stopped on track. And luckily, NASCAR, like I said, learned, and they threw the caution.
Yeah, fortunately, NASCAR did call the caution, and that keeps Jordan Stout in the lead. He's led every lap so far from pole position. It's been a dominant day. However, 2 fast cars, Matthew Burnett and Luke Green, will be right behind him for the next restart, which will come with under 20 laps to go here in the Checker Auto Parts 500 at the Phoenix International Raceway. Back here on JRTV at the Phoenix International Raceway, coming back to the green flag for our 4th restart of the day, 4th caution flag. This one for Nathan Orman, stopping on the racetrack with an issue. He's fallen a lap down in 38th. Anthony Nez is back out there in the lead lap in 36th. Jose Mills came down the pit road for some issues on number 7, trying to resolve them. He's back in 37th to restart. Jordan Stout still leading. He's led every single lap from that pole position, but his teammate Matthew Burnett hungry for that first victory of the season. Luke Green looking to go back-to-back on the season. Jay Randall trying to get another one for Hendrick. Chris Jericho trying to go for 3 in a row. Brett Stewart looking for his first top 5. Watch for Zidell, Evans, Chung, and Kukulon. That's the front 10 for the restart. Great jump for Burnett. He stays right with Stout into turn number 1. Might he look for a pass on this restart?
He's peeking, Joe. He's peeking. Stout ran wide. I don't think he's going to get it here, but he might get it going in the 3.
Yeah, he got a good run off that corner with the lower exit. We'll see right here as he races down to 3. Still about half a car length behind. Can't make the pass there. Luke Green did not have a good restart the 88. Remember, he was probably the fastest car before that yellow came out. Had a bad restart, but now here he's gaining right back under the front to Zidell. Under 5 from Conrad Evans for a spot inside the top 10. That is for 7th.
Look at who else is battling for this spot inside the top 10.
Yeah, Laura Chung has done a really good job keeping that car clean, moving through the field. Special Kukulon also inside the top 10. Evans through to 7th. He's trying to get himself back into that championship fight. Championship rivals from last season going at it for 5th place. Chris Jericho has it. Brett Sierra wants it. It would be his first of the season if he can get it. But Jericho staying with the front 4 this time. And Randall really staying with the front 3. Matthew Burnett can't really close in on that number 6. His teammate Jordan Stout. Luke Rennie might get impatient with him in that number 88 car.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you wonder what you have to do to pass Stout here. I mean, he's got a good short run car. I don't think we really had a long run to see what the speed's like on that end either. So, I mean, if we keep getting these cautions, it's just going to go into the 6's favor.
And we haven't had an insanely long green flag run to really see what the tire might do to these cars. Battle back there inside the top 10. Eli Bright trying to get his way back up inside the top 10. Moving by Special Kukulon, bringing Keyshawn Richardson to the inside with them. Right behind that, Sebastian Tiglia Pez having good runs, trying to move their way through the field. In fact, that's Oskin's old ride that Yepez is driving just behind him. So that's very, very funny to see that those two might be battling for a position here late in the race with two of the smaller teams in the Winston Cup Series. They might be going as Richardson and Kukulon, two drivers fighting for every point they could get towards the championship. They're battling side by side for 11th. Back up to the front, Luke Rennie all over the back of Matthew Burnett in turns 1 and 2, showing pressure to the 17 because Burnett is losing time to Jordan Stout, can't gain. Luke Rennie really probably needs to make this pass now because we're coming around to 11 laps to go. There's not much time left. If he can't pass Matthew Burnett, I don't think anyone's catching Jordan Stout.
Yeah, definitely here. We'll have to, you think at some point he'll lose patience and just might
right here.
This 7? Oh, there it is.
Got a great run, exit of 4, moves to the inside, Matthew Burnett trying to complete it through turns 1 and 2, but we've seen the outside of 1 2, they can hang down the dog leg. Can Burnett get a run to get back clear? So far, no. The 88 very strong on the bottom lane, but he has to complete this pass now. If not, Stout might drive off, get too far ahead to where the 88 can't run him down and pass him. Luke Rennie through the bottom of 3 and 4. I think he's clear Matthew Burnett. He slides up. Luke Rennie to 2nd place, trying to run down Jordan Stout for his 2nd straight Winston Cup Series victory.
I mean, Joey's got plenty of time left, but does he have the speed to do it with?
That is a big question. We know that 88 is fast, but with 10 laps to go, can he gain that 6.5 tenths that he lost? Battle for 3rd place. Jay Rando trying to move by Matthew Burnett. The 17 was so good before that yellow came up, but the pit stops did not help him. Here goes Sierra for the top 5 on his championship rival from last season, Chris Jericho. They move side by side. Off 4 and down the front straightaway. Sierra with the preferred lane to turn 1 might be able to make the pass, and now Zidell comes back on Evans in turns 1 and 2.
Still side by side.
And they're not giving it. Evans!
Sierra might get the advantage. Oh, we're going to go 3?
He might have gone down between the 100 cars. He did a good job by Evans there. Very aggressive move, but he needed to do that because remember, he's still trying to get up into that championship fight. Puts Jericho to the outside. Sierra inside the top 5 trying to finish there. Evans now to 6th. Jericho back to 7th, maybe even 8th, 9th, or 10th because here comes Idell, Chung, and Eli Bright. Luke Rennie is cutting into the lead, but it's not by enough. Trey. He needs to find more pace in that number 88 car to get right up to Stout and try and pass him.
And he was hoping for a caution. It's going to come here pretty. It has to come here pretty soon because we're getting close to that limit.
Yeah, that point of no return. Once we get to 5 laps to go, that means we would end the race under the caution flag if one comes out. That time again, about 3 100ths, but he needs more. He's still over half a second back. Jericho's still dropping. Zidell passes him. Now he's back in a battle for 9th place with Laura Chung. Got the run off the top of turn number 2. Can he get down in front of that red number 9? It doesn't look like it. Maybe there he did. So Jericho will slide in line, but back in 8th place. Definitely not the run he was expecting here today at Phoenix, but still could be a good run to get himself up near Mathis Wells for the point seed. Richardson inside the top 10, moving by Eli Bright. Sebastian Kukulon trying to move for 11th place. Laura Chung still just steady in the 9th place as Evans looks on Sierra, trying to break Sierra's heart and get inside the top 5. And Burnett not letting Randall get away in the battle for 3rd place.
Yeah, definitely. And this is probably the biggest battle we have on track right now. I don't think anyone else is really this close.
No, not really. See, Evans, though, that 31 has come alive here these last few laps, Trey. Moving right up into the back of Brett Sear. Remember that 25 still searching for that first top 5 of the season, but Conrad Evans might keep him from that. That 31 looks pretty strong these last few laps.
Well, we know that Evans is a pretty, shall we say, risky driver.
Yeah,
and we know Sierra doesn't like to take stuff like that. Yeah, this might turn into interesting here if someone gets moved.
It could. We'll see if Evans does move that 25 for that spot. Every point matters to that number 31, so we'll have to see if Evans gets aggressive for it. Luke Rainey not gaining on Jordan Stout. He's lost ground of the last few laps. That 6 is just too good out in front, barring any issues. He might lead every lap en route to victory lane here today at Phoenix, coming back to 3 laps to go. Battle for 5th still tightening up and tightening up even more, because here comes Idell closing on Evans, who's closing in on Brett Sear, and they're closing in on Matthew Burnett and Jay Rando. 3 laps to go, still about 6.5 tenths between the 6 of Stout and the 8 of Luke Rainey. Battle back here for around 10th place. Keyshawn Richardson has 10th. Sebastian Kukulon, who came in second in points, he wants 10th. Eli Bright back there, and here's Hunter Reed, the rookie, down with Samet Oskin for that spot. They all sort around as they enter into turns 3 and 4. Kukulon looking low, so we have a car going wide here. Our car's coming down pit road, they're just running wide, trying to... No, the 9, the 29, they can't make enough fuel!
Joe, what does that mean for everyone else? Everyone pitted on the same lap.
Yeah, 2 laps to go. You see the 41 was on pit road, so he didn't have the fuel, but what about our race there? Jordan Stout, Luke Rainey, Jay Rando. Can they all make it? And a tough break for Kukulon, who came in second in points. He won't gain that many points on Mathis Wells, and DeLello also came down pit road. As Stout goes through 3 and 4, under his own power, coming to see the white flag. 1 more mile around Phoenix, and he'll win, leading flag to flag.
A lot of people down.
Yeah, that was about a quarter of the field that had to pit right there. But as they work their way off turn 2 for the final time, Jordan Stout has not stepped wrong here today in Phoenix. He started on pole. He's led every single lap, every single mile of this race. Off turn number 4, checker flag is waving it for Jordan Stout back into the championship fight with a win in Phoenix.
I thought we were going to run into another fuel mileage race, Joe.
Well, we almost did. We were, fuel mileage for about a quarter of the field. And
yeah, that's weird. I wonder why.
And it's so weird because we had that yellow. You would think with that last yellow, they would have been able to save enough fuel there. But you have to think, with how fast some of those pit stops were, some of those guys getting a lot of spots on pit road, could it possibly have been that they just didn't stay long enough to fill the car?
Maybe they were banking on another yellow.
Yeah, they could have been, or ending under caution.
Yeah, I mean, we've had quite a bit of yellows in the first half, and then the second half, these guys really cleaned it up. So, I don't know, different strategies, Joe, but at least one person got it right.
Yeah, and that person was the man who just dominated this race. I mean, he did not step wrong here today. Jordan Stout back into the championship fight. He's probably been the hottest driver as of late on the Winston Cup Series circuit, and it's showing again. He's back into that championship fight with a race less worth of points because of that DNQ, or that disqualification, that DQ at the Homestead Miami Speedway after his victory. But as we take a look at the finishing results, all Jordan Stout here today, leading every single lap. A max points day for Stout on a day where he really, really needed it because of Mathis Wells' DNF. Luke Rainey continues his string of very good races, a top 5 at Richmond, a win at Bristol, a 2nd here at Phoenix. Jay Randall finishes in 3rd, Matthew Burnett in 4th, and Brett Sear for the first time this season gets a top 5, his best finish of the season, 5th place here today at Phoenix. Conrad Evans close to that 5th spot, ends up in 6th. 3 of the 100 cars finished inside the top 10 was Idell in 7th, their best race of the season for the whole organization. Chris Jericho's lowest ever Phoenix finish in 8th place. Still a pretty good points day because his teammate Mathis Wells finished out of the race back in 40th. Keyshawn Richardson ends up in 9th, and Eli Bright gets a top 10, that number 8 car. The petty cars of Hunter Reed and Tico Yepez, 11th and 12th. Noah Clifton ends up in 13th. Keegan Thompson puts all 400 cars inside the top 15, and Riley Spurgeon with a bunch of damage on that number 28 car, but still sells for a top 15. Very good run through the field for Riley. Fitzwater there. Justin Atkins involved in the first crash. He gets 17th. Lathan Strickland's around mid-pack after that last restart. He gets 18th. Jack Costa, very solid top 20. Jose Mills, remember, he came down pit road there under that last yellow to probably fix some issues on that number 7, but he had the field to make it, gained a lot of spots. Hernandez also had the field to make it because he had to come down pit road. He gets 21st. The 67, June Martinelli, his first start of the season because he was set to start New Hampshire but didn't make it there. He gets a top 25. Jacob Miller, 23rd. Big Brewers and Jordan Edwards end up on the lead lap. For Kukulon, not what he was looking for. Could have possibly gained the points lead because of where he was running, but ran dry on the field. He gets 26th. Zachary DeLello to work his way through the field very, very well. 28th. He'll gain some points on Mathis Wells, but he could have gained a lot more in that number 97 and will continue to fall behind some of the other drivers up near the front as a lot of cars finished 1 lap down. Our points there, Mathis Wells ended up in 39th. 3 cars below him involved in other crashes were also out of this race. It's a very chaotic one. 4 caution flags here today. And Trey, as we look at the points standings, this championship battle We thought it maybe strung out because Mathis Wells had a good Bristol. All he needs to do is just stay consistent, but he used up his mulligan tray, and literally everyone is back together in terms of that championship fight.
This is yeah, no, I agree. I thought Wells was gonna start to pull away a little bit here, but today was just not his day. He didn't even finish the race, Joe. Didn't even finish half the race, and this thing's getting a lot closer, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'm all for it too, because the last few seasons we've seen 2 driver championship fights. This season we could see 6 or 7 or 8 or 9, because it is getting oh so close, and we're looking forward to the next few races, because these are also racetracks where you can't really put a foot wrong, or else you might find yourself in trouble. And we know last season there was some trouble in terms of the championship at this next racetrack. We're going to race at one of the crown jewels on the Winston Cup Series schedule. It is the Southern 500 at Darlington. Such a narrow, treacherous racetrack. Last season, Trey, we saw both of the Joe Gibbs cars have issues there. Chris Jericho lost a lot of points to Brett Sear at that point. Mathis Wells got involved in issues as well in that number 20. Could we see something like that again? The Joe Gibbs cars, they're both in that championship fight.
I'm not counting anything out.
No, I'm not either. And who knows? Darlington, we could have like 6 drivers leave tied for the points lead or something. That's just how close this championship battle is. But today for Jordan Stout, he did what he needed to do. Flag to flag, leading here today at Phoenix and winning the Checker Auto Parts 500. A max points effort for Jordan Stout. Gets himself back into the championship fight here at Phoenix. Join us next week on JRTV for the Southern 500 at Darlington. For Trey Bardo, I'm Joe Cussy. So long from the Phoenix International Raceway.